Hey ladies, how are you? How are you doing? What is going on? I want to talk about 10 mindset shifts that will make you unstoppable in your 40s. Now, you could be in your 50s, your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s, whatever, even 20s and 30s. But my audience is in their 40s, so that's what we're going to talk about. So, we're just going to run through these and, get them going and just talk about how we're going to just change our mindset. Sometimes we don't even sit back and realize how our mind can keep us in such a bind. I'm over here rhyming and whatnot. Before we get started, I want to have a conversation about yesterday. Yesterday was a time to be had. I went out yesterday and I had such a good time. I think I told you guys that I was going to a vision board party that was somewhat like, let me get it right. I was going to a bingo party that's pretty much like a vision board party where you have your columns and your categories and you put down some things that you want to do, during the year. And if you can kind of get through a line or something like that, then it's like bingo. I did it, right? Never seen it before. I seen it like on Pinterest and whatnot, but I've never been to an actual party. But let me tell you something. We didn't complete the bingo cards, right? We had such good conversation. I mean, when I tell you, we had conversations all around so many different topics. We talked about relationships. We talked about, and relationships in regard, it could have been from friendships to coworkers to meeting new women in addition to marriage. And just sharing our point of views, talking about society standards, talking about where we are as women and what we're tolerating, what we're not tolerating, and just having a robust mindset. Like, it was just so, and taking up space. And I think I mentioned this in one of my episodes about, you know, sometimes you can go into a room, and we all mentioned this, and we were all different women. I mean, different categories, different everything, different backgrounds and race, different backgrounds and work. I mean, and we all somehow, some of us, maybe, I won't say all, kind of had the same thing, like, walking into a room and minimizing yourself, or walking in certain spaces and have to like move and adjust yourself. And you don't have to take up the space. We talked about all of that. But we had a good time, nevertheless, and I cannot wait because we're gonna do it again in 3 months. Like have like a 3 month check-in. I'm excited. I'm ready to check in tomorrow, and we just did it yesterday. But here we are. I want to go over some mindset shifts. I'm just gonna kind of like run them through, and if anything kind of sticks out, I will pinpoint some certain things, and I'll kind of give my input. But I feel like us just hearing it, it'll benefit us that way. So, number one, embrace your worth. You are enough. You are enough. Recognize your value regardless of social standards. Stop comparing yourself. Don't look at the younger version of you, and don't go too far in the future. Just kind of stay right here. Just appreciate who you are, where you are. Number two, prioritize your well-being. Like, shift focus on your health, your wellness, and energy management. Where did she get that from? Energy management, understanding, like, caring for yourself and caring for your body. Sometimes we get so caught up in the world and we forget about ourselves. And this is why I'm having this conversation, you know, because we need to focus on ourselves and change that mindset of, you can still do for others, but you still have to do for yourself. Sometimes we get caught up in, well, you got to be of service. You got to be of service. Yeah, you can be of service. You can help family, friends, and community and all that good stuff. I am a firm believer of that. However, you still have to pour into yourself. You have to. You can't just go, 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 go. Number three, let go of perfectionism. That is me. That is me. And I feel like this year I've learned to not be so caught up in being perfect and have perfection. And I've been doing that with my podcast and with my YouTube, understanding that, you can't have that perfect video. You can't have that perfect audio, that perfect anything. You can work towards that and eventually it will come. Even though I've been on YouTube for, I want to say 13 years, I've had good moments and I've had bad moments, but that just makes it what it is. And I had to sit back and accept that. I'd rather have done, completed, than not done at all. Or progress, if you will, than not done it at all. I'm not saying put out sloppy or do sloppy, just kind of just get something out there so you can kind of set the tone so you know where you can and where you don't have to improve. Ooh, go Kelly. Number 4, embrace failures as growth. That's those lessons, y'all. Don't beat yourself up and be like, oh my God, if I can go back into my 20s, I can fix this, I can fix that. No, they're all lessons. They're all lessons. Just don't do it again. And some things we may have done again, you got to pat yourself on the hand. But just don't beat yourself up about it. That's something that I used to do. Like, oh my God, this is why this is happening to me. You know, I don't do that. Just look at it as if you learn from it and you won't do it again. Or if somebody else is doing it, or if you learn from if it's work or if it's a contract, what it can be in anything. Just don't do it again and don't look at it as if it's as growth, because next time around you're going to do it better. There's things that I have in my life that I wish I could have did a little bit differently, but they went the way they went, and here we are. I've learned from them, and I am a better person. And I feel like sometimes when we do make mistakes, those are lessons that we have to learn. So as we move forward, we will evolve into what we need to be. If that makes any sense. If not, check me in the comments. Number 5, stay open to new experiences. Yeah, I am at a place now where I'm open to new experiences, and I it's still some things that I'm still like, I'm not interested in. And when I say new experiences, that can be something like pottery, if you something into something like that, or if it's something like traveling. I don't have any desire. Now, I would have went with my friends, because my friends did mention this to me, that that's something they want to do, like go to like Greece and Rome, and they wound up doing it. I just didn't go, and Dubai and things like that. I just didn't go. But I me and long flights. Ooh, and I know you can like bring your laptop and you can like do some things and you can read books and you can like watch movies and take good naps and do skincare. I know I see it all on the good old TikTok, but I've never had, I think 5 hours is like my limit. And I know that limits me because you can't really go too far out, but I know I have to go a little bit further. I'm taking my daughter to Japan and I'm taking my daughter to Hawaii. So yeah. So your girl's gonna have to get over these long flights. So trying something new, getting out of your comfort zone, and just opening up to new experiences. Number 6, practice gratitude daily. Focus on what's going well. Sometimes that can be so hard. I find myself sometimes knowing what's going good. Like prime example, right now, I was waiting for I thought I had to stop it. I said, oh my God, my camera's not on. I was sitting back like, oh my God, I don't want to do this episode. I want to take this makeup off. I want to put some sweatpants on. I'm tired of waiting for this battery to charge. I just want to sit down, cook dinner, and do nothing. That's what I wanted to do. And something was like, no, Kelly, you have a heavy week ahead of you. And this is the sacrifice you have to make. So you have to wait for that battery to charge, and you cannot take your makeup off. And you're going to have to sit here and you're going to do this episode, because not only is it providing value, you're getting value for yourself. So I had to think about the good moments. I'm in a good space right now, and don't let any bad moments, like me not wanting to wait, because it's going to benefit me. So I have to be grateful, show gratitude, and be present, and understand this is going to benefit me later. So yeah, but gratitude looks different for everyone. Focusing on what's going well and what's good in your life, and don't focus on the bad, and being thankful for what you have and what you don't have. Yeah. Yeah. Number 7, setting boundaries and being unapologetic. Okay. Oh, God. Why boundaries are essential. It helps with your mental health. Let me tell you something. It helps with your mental health. I'm going to say it. I knew that there was a person in my life that could not do anything for me, but I would be there for them and help them because they were family, right? And after a while, I felt like, wow, I'm being taken advantage of, because when do you sit back and say, I have to do right so I cannot do right for myself, but I can show the person that's been helping me that I'm grateful for all the things that they have shown me and done for me and sacrifice I made, you know. And even in, even if it's not that scenario for you, it can even be in friendships, it can be in relationships, it can be at your work, anywhere. Setting boundaries so people don't have to walk over you. And when you stand on it, you stand on it. Set boundaries. I'm firm about that. Number 8, cultivate a growth mentality. You know, I can kind of piggyback on what I said in regards to me not wanting to do this episode because I'm tired, or, you know, I want to go relax and I just want to eat. And I'm like, no, you got to do this because you know what you want and you know what you're doing. So you're going to have to make a sacrifice and have a growth mentality and always see that there's a bigger picture in something. So having that mindset, looking at challenges as growth opportunities. So I was facing a challenge. It really wasn't a challenge, but I was like, I'm ready to sit it down. But I said, no, Kelly, you have to do this because you want to get this episode out, because not only are you helping yourself, you're helping others, and you know what you want to do this week. And what you're doing this week, you need to have all your ducks in a row. And I need to have my episodes done so your girl can be a gym rat and piss off the people that really go to the gym. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I'm gonna be in there. I have to. I have to. So number 9, let go of the need for approval. Ooh, what do you think about this? And there's nothing wrong with acting, because I do ask, people that are close to me, their opinion on certain things that I might be doing, if it's on my podcast, if it's on my YouTube channel, or even if it's in career, I will ask, what do you think about this? What do you think? And, it's nothing wrong with that. But when you're seeking approval for each and everything, or just things that you can kind of like tackle on your own, like, understand your judgment, know where you are at right now. You don't need no approval to do anything that you want to do. And even if it's something like, making time for yourself, you don't need no approval to have time for yourself. Like yesterday I may have went out, but I also stayed out a little late. I was having a good time with my cousin, and we shared, appetizers. We had some mocktails. We trying to do dry January, February, and March. Y'all pray for me, okay? Because I am a wine drinker. I gave up the hard liquor. The hard liquor, I can have one shot, and the next day it's like I am beat up, done got jumped, recovered, and got jumped again. I mean, it be bad. I don't understand. Or maybe the liquor is bad. I don't know. But I am a wine drinker, or I really, really enjoy champagne. Like, champagne is like a thing for me. Oh my God. So champagne, if I can't get my hands on it, because I don't want to go to Total Wine, because like living here in North Carolina, we having a little moment. Let's take a little break. Living here in North Carolina, like in New York, you can get champagne from the liquor store. you know, Living here, you have to go to like Total Wines and get your champagne. Or if you have a club card, like going into like BJ's. BJ sells Moet. They don't sell, like, they sell the Brut or the Imperial one. They don't sell like the Nectar or all the other ones that Moet may have, or like the yellow, the orange label, Voo, Clico, somebody, or just other champagnes. It doesn't have to be the popular ones. There's so many other champagnes, and sometimes I can't get my hands, so I gotta go to Prosecco, something else that's kind of like my next best thing. But yeah, me and alcohol, I don't know how we got on this alcohol thing. We're talking about mindset, but we talking about it. But let me kind of piggyback and get back. Don't look for approval. Embrace your self-approval on anything that you want to do. You are able to make those better judgments for yourself. There is a sense of freedom that you get when you're focusing on your own values and goals. So don't seek nothing from nobody else. Focus on yourself and you're going to be good. And last and not least, focus on progress and not perfection. So we just kind of come piggyback on the perfection thing, having progress, ancient alone, sometimes, you want to have everything done. Say you're trying to do a project, right? And you want to have the outline done and you want to have this done. You want to have the website done. You want all these different things done. Take it one step at a time. Enjoy the journey. Everybody's time frame is different. And when you have that mindset, everything just kind of like goes at a breeze. Now I understand easier said than done. Again, this is just a template. This is just me kind of throwing some things out there. Nothing is set in stone. Everything is, adjustable, changeable. Some things may work, some things may not work. But yeah. What do you think about these mindset shifts? How will you see yourself implementing these in your life? Do you see yourself implementing them at all? I know for me, all of them are being implemented now and will be continued. Some may be implemented more than others. Some may come in at a time frame where they're needed. Some may not at all. But I know all 10 of these are definitely something that I'm definitely going to be using because it's okay. The mind be going. But we want to do things for ourselves. Even if it's just pouring into ourselves, these mindset shifts can definitely help us. So in saying all of that, I thank you. I appreciate you being here to listen and to watch. And I will catch you in our next conversation.